This is Sports Stuff with Jim and Muff, plus every single last one of the homies in the house tonight.
We are all here.
Hello, homies.
Good. The Harper household, as usually, silent.
What's up, homies?
There we go. There may or may not have been a slight domestic disturbance prior to us hitting the Go Baby Go record button, but alas, we are here, whether or not they want to be or not.
I want to be here.
Still silence from Nate. Still silence from Nate. Today is Monday, October 16th, and Dana White's pissed.
Yeah, that's a thing.
Jim hates Peacock.
Also, very much a thing.
Apparently, Will Smith and Jada Pinkett have been separated for 7 years.
I don't believe that's a thing. We're gonna let that ride, though.
Sorry about your luck, Chris Rock, if that is true.
Very weird.
And we're gearing up for the matchup of the week as opposing sides are represented in this podcast with Penn State and Ohio State taking the field on Saturday.
I still don't understand why that's not a night game, but that's besides the point.
Yeah, I'm a little upset about it personally, but neither here nor there. All we have to do is just make sure nobody from the press talks to James Franklin about taking deep shots down the field with Drew Aller. Great, good conversation from everybody. I'm glad that we're all here today.
I think I missed something on the James Franklin thing. So,
well, Alex, just for you, guess what I've got queued up and ready to go?
A clip explaining what's about to happen.
A clip just for you, Alex.
See, I would have participated. I just didn't know I was supposed to participate in.
This is a clip from the Pat McAfee show, so this may or may not get us some type of strike in the world of YouTube and across different platforms. But just for you, Alex, here is the clip in question.
Last question from Zoom, Corey Geiger.
Hey, good afternoon, James.
Hey, Corey.
A follow-up to what you were just asked there about Drew. Is there a balance, though, between, hey, we need you to throw the ball deep no matter, just take a shot. Don't overthink it. Take a shot. We need to see it. We're going to call it. And we need you to get some confidence in doing this as opposed to even giving a young quarterback the chance to say, hey, just check it down if it's not there.
I don't really understand what you're saying because we would never my skin is curling when you say just drop back and chuck it deep no matter what. Like that is like I don't even know what you're saying. It's like you're speaking like from
Send the guy on a post pattern, take the shot, throw it.
No matter what.
Give your receiver a chance to make a play on the ball. Even if he might be covered 30 yards down the field, maybe you think he'll be open 45 yards down the field, and like Godwin did, or with Jahan or KJ.
I still don't like you're speaking Japanese. We have never done that.
Okay, so Alex, you can imagine it just
continued
to go from there.
His skin was curling. I think it was crawling was the word he was looking for, but I enjoy curling.
I want to see what this reporter looks like. Is he like the nerdy kid that's never played football before?
Yes.
Apparently, he's been a reporter. I think he's out of Altoona. So I mean, somebody that's been a part of these types of press conferences for like 10 plus years. I think dates back to like when AQ Shipley was there. So he's around my age. So he's been a reporter there for 15 plus years.
And it makes you wonder how with questions like that.
I don't know, but James Franklin was not happy. So Alex, there you go. Any thoughts?
Yeah, makes sense.
I understand.
I'm laughing. I just think it's funny that James Franklin didn't even like entertain the thought and just be like, no, I think we're going to keep it conservative. He's just like, what? Don't talk to me. I'm surprised he let the guy have a chance to explain himself. I'll give him credit. He was very patient.
He stopped moving. Quite literally was frozen. The only thing was he was blinking his eyes. So we'll see. We'll see, Jim. We'll see if that's a mislead for taking some deep shots this week. TBD. The Harper household was a hockey night in Pittsburgh this past weekend. Nate and Sam, how was your journey to the Berg, and what were the fun eats and treats that you found?
It turned out to be a real good game. They started off kind of sluggish a little bit. Then they had a 5-on-4, then had a 5-on-3, hit a post or two. So, and it's funny listening to all those fans around you. Just shoot the puck. So, first period, all right. Second period was a dud, and then third period they came out with their hair on fire and scored 2 in, what was it, 41 seconds or so, and then I think the final ended up being 5-2. So, 4 third period goals happened all right in front of us, so it was nice.
Nice.
And then for the food part,
So first of all, I just want to give myself a pat on the back because I picked out our tickets and they were fantastic. We had Permanis for Din Din. Nate had a Labatt Blue Light for his drink of choice. I had a $6 water. And then we had Jake Shakes during the second period. I highly recommend.
Go ahead and explain what that is.
Jake Shake is Jake Gensel's shake from the Milkshake Factory. Jake Gensel, my boyfriend, if we didn't know.
Dougie D, Dougie G, Jimmy G.
I don't know, on your story after the
Mason.
game, you said Rust.
Brian Rust is pretty cute, I will say, but Jake, I mean, he's the MVP. So it's like cookies and cream, chocolate sauce, ice cream, all the things. I think there might be some brownies in there. And it's topped with whipped cream and a chocolate number 59. It's fantastic.
It's fantastic. Everybody go to the Milkshake Factory and get the Jake Shake. It sounds like it has all the things that will clog your arteries and are a good time on a Saturday night in Pittsburgh.
And you can also get Milkshake Factory at one of their other locations too. I think there's like 8 of them.
Listen, as a medical professional, sometimes you have to treat yourself.
Yep.
Treat yourself. All right. Speaking of hockey, all the best to Barry Milrose as he has retired from broadcasting and commentary for ESPN after he was diagnosed with Parkinson's disease.
T's and P's.
All the best to Barry as he continues on in his life. Thanks to all those interacting again with our content and social media. As always, follow us at Sports Jim Muff on Instagram and Twitter, sportsstuffw/Jim, &Sam Muff on Facebook, on YouTube. The action verbs are
Like, poke, tickle, get the bell on.
Ding, ding.
bing, bing, bing. Remember, we have our
Why so
weekly.
serious, Jim?
Do what?
So why so serious? Like, post, tickle, get the bell on, blah, blah,
Sound like
blah.
Nate. Sound like Nate over there.
Just taking my cues
Yeah,
from you, boss.
I was going to say, when Nate calls you out for, not seeming overly excited and worked up about things.
Just
Usually he just says get the bell on a little bit more enthusiastically. I'm just checking on Jim.
Muff
Okay.
asked for the verbs. Muff asked for the verbs.
All right. As always, we have our weekly episodes out on Monday. And during football season, we have the betting episodes, which come out on Thursday. Make sure that you get involved with all of them. And there's still time to listen to last week's betting episode and maybe win some cash dollars. But you have to listen to understand how you're going to win them.
Cash dollars.
And now we get into NFL Week 6.
Couple more sixes. Yep.
You know what?
Let's go.
Yeah, I was going to say, you got to make sure yeah.
Starting with Thursday Night Football, as Thursday Football brought the Chiefs against the hapless Broncos. And if there was another Taylor Swift sighting, yes,
No one cares.
I think she was there. Yeah.
she was there. I'm gonna make a call back here, and I still contend that she's ruining sports. Maybe not just Pittsburgh sports now, but the national scale.
But how? Like, I don't know how that she's ruining it.
I'm sick of it. I'm sick of her.
You're
No,
sick of everything. You're the man on the porch. We get it.
First
All right,
of
so
all,
Alex, real quick
more on
question.
that to come later.
Alex, are you more sick of the NFL's coverage of Taylor Swift or the coverage of Deion Sanders is getting?
At least Deion Sanders relates to the football game. Like, at least he is actually involved in the football game. Taylor Swift is just literally sitting in the crowd.
She looks like she's involved.
Mom.
She's literally sitting in the crowd.
Well, she's not in the
Her
crowd.
choices.
She's not in the crowd,
That's
Alex.
true. That's true. Let's be honest.
She's in
Her
the box.
choices do not in any way, shape, or form directly affect the football game.
I don't know. Travis Kelce was looking up at her. It looked like, hey, that's for you, girl.
Hey, that's for you, girl.
That's love.
Sam, when does Taylor Swift go on her next tour? When does that start? Do you know?
I think it starts in like April or May.
Oh, never mind. I thought we were gonna get a reprieve.
Unfortunately, I did not get tickets to it.
I thought
She's going
that she
some
was doing
world
some
tour.
extra things soon.
Yeah.
Well,
That
she's going on. She starts her international tour. I want to say in like November, maybe.
Yeah, I was gonna say I think she gets to leave soon.
But then her like U.S. leg does not start until.
I feel like international will be even better though. It'll keep her even farther away from the game.
That's
Okay.
not nice. She goes to Buenos Aires on Thursday, November 9th.
Okay.
Buenos Aires.
Buenos Aires.
Tell us you're from America.
Just a
without
little bit more
telling us you're from America.
From the Ohio Valley. She's
All right.
going to Buenos Aires.
The
And
Chiefs.
Argentina.
The Chiefs.
And later they're going to go to later Gators.
The Chiefs win this one 19-8.
Wait,
Oh.
good news though. Her tour is only Thursday,
Okay.
Friday,
I don't
Saturday.
care.
Nobody cares.
So she'll be able to go to the
Nobody
game
cares.
on
We are
Sunday.
allowing this to happen. She's not. Swifty has infected our show.
That's Jim. You asked. That's
We
why
put the
Taylor
walls
Swift is
up.
ruining sports right there.
Yep. We've done it. You're right. I
Just
love
demonstrated it. All right, let's get into Sunday football first. In the last game in London town this year, but more to come in Germany in the coming weeks.
In Germany. Oh,
Justin Tucker felt that he had to show the crowd how real kickers play the game as he makes 6 field goals and the Ravens beat the Titans 24-16. Ryan Tannehill goes out in this game and couldn't really get much going. Malik Willis enters the game and could not make anything happen either. Lamar Jackson threw for a TD to Zay Flowers.
a couple things that, and I just watched highlights of this, but when we say that Tannehill went out, he tweaked his ankle and then like walked out. From what I saw, it wasn't like he got carted out. He walked out with a
Okay.
heavily taped ankle.
Yeah.
But like,
Yeah, but
that
there's a
looked
difference
to
between
me,
yeah, but you can still be hurt and walk off the field on your own power, but like
you're
Yep.
the quarterback and you're in a close game.
yeah. I mean, I get it, but if you
People
don't
with like
perform-
torn ACLs, MCLs can still walk, Jim. You can still walk without a limp.
well,
In
my big thing,
today's
if
era,
you-
you're Tannehill.
if you know that you're hurt though and you're not going to be able to perform, are you doing more of a disservice by forcing the coach's hand and letting you stay in, or by saying, "Hey, I'm hurt, I can't go full go"?
it looked to me like he gave up.
Yeah, maybe. I didn't watch it, so you might be right.
And
Fair enough.
then my other
Yeah.
comment is Lamar Jackson tweets, "Boy, I don't give a damn about your parlay or fantasies. I'm trying to win." Apparently, he was catching some heat on the Twitter, or X, as some folks call it.
He hurt me by not scoring a touchdown with his legs. So
Well, he doesn't care. He doesn't give a
doesn't.
damn. So
Well, you should care, Lamar.
you
yeah,
should.
You know what he cares about? When that check hits every Sunday.
Yeah,
I think this was Zay Flowers' first NFL touchdown, wasn't it?
I think
Yes.
so.
I was surprised by that. For some reason, I was thinking he had scored earlier in the season, but
But those are my 2 takeaways from this game.
Next,
didn't go into Germany. Sorry.
Next, the Commanders went into hot Atlanta and came away with a 24-16 win as Sam Howell tosses 3 touchdowns on 151 yards passing, and Desmond Ridder paves the way for a Falcons loss by throwing 3 interceptions on his own. Both teams now 3-3. Which
Coach-
team?
The
Which
coach
team
blew
do
some
we?
fire at Ritter. He was caught saying, "I don't know what he was thinking," so to speak, on that last interception.
No, you're a professional. Truth hurts.
But should the head coach be saying that about a quarterback?
I don't think Artie
It's
Smith
the
cares
latest-
that much.
I mean, if I F up at work and cut off the wrong leg on someone, my coach is probably my boss is probably gonna be like, I don't know what he was thinking.
All right, Alex, an interception versus cutting off the wrong leg.
I don't know. Maybe he's going to light a fire under his ass, Jim. Who knows?
Maybe. Maybe it's a good point.
I mean, at the end, Arthur Smith can always go work at FedEx because, his family owns it.
Yeah, I guess when you own FedEx, you feel like you could probably say whatever you want.
Good job, Muff. Good job,
Probably
Muff.
say a lot of things there. In the game of who will blink to lose the game first, the answer was apparently Justin Fields and the Bears, as Fields goes out in this game with a hand injury, and Kirk
Muff,
Cousins
that was
wears
such a
his
shitty thing to
best
do to the field.
plaid shirt today as the
That was
Vikings win
so
19-13.
Fields was out of the game way early. He didn't lose that game for them. He got a broken hand.
I mean, he's out of the game. I think that's the reason.
The
they
broken?
lost.
X-rays came back negative.
So it's not broken.
No,
Not broken.
broken.
If Muff can slant it one way, I'm going to slant it the other.
You just slanted facts.
He didn't lose the game for that.
I
mean,
genuinely
him
didn't know the
not
X-rays
being
were
there,
negative.
I
I wasn't even
contend-
trying to call Jim out.
Yeah, I contend him not being there is the reason they lost the game.
That team is shitty,
Oh, so their quarterback is also shitty.
but it's a joint effort of shitty.
But in the end, it's the quarterback's responsibility, isn't it?
Okay, Muff.
I mean, Ryan Tannehill, he
I'm
gave
going to
up on the
write that
team.
down right
He
now.
gave up on the team.
In the end, it's the quarterback's fault.
Responsibility. I didn't say fault.
Responsibility. In the end,
You have a notebook of
QB
things Muff said that he's
Did you
keeping
just hold on to for
he's
one day?
keeping receipts, quite literally.
All right, calm down there, Dion. This is the first game with no Justin Jefferson for the Vikings, and it shows Kirk Cousins' stat line. He only had 181 yards passing and 1 touchdown. In the end, for the Bears,
It was the
Shepard-
quarterback's responsibility.
Shepherd alum Tyson Bagent took over for Fields and ran for 1 score, but threw an untimely interception.
Not his fault. He wasn't QB1.
He's still the quarterback. It's his responsibility.
Oh,
Either
so
way, that's
no,
pretty exciting.
doesn't matter who
Guy
the
playing at
quarterback
Division II
is.
Shepherd
quarterback-
University out of West Virginia.
Yeah, there we go, Jim.
Some
Bury the
airtime.
lead.
I'm not going to blame. I'm not. Nope, not doing the WVU hate just yet.
So you're blaming Justin Fields then?
This isn't
According to
WVU.
your logic, yeah,
I'm asking you. You just said it's not Tyson Bagent's fault, so it must be Justin Fields' fault.
I have to follow what you say, Muff.
Remember that. The Bengals improved to 3-3 with a 17-13 win over the Seahawks, thanks to 2 Geno Smith interceptions, while Joe Burrow had 2 tutties.
It was his responsibility.
In a shocking stat, Geno Smith was sacked more times than Joe Burrow, 4-3.
He got rocked a couple times too. Like I looked up at one point and he went down. His helmet was like kind of like that. He's like, "Oh shit!"
Yeah, because that's not. Burrow just knows how to take a sack at this point. I watched one play.
Yeah, he's becoming a professional at being sacked.
Yeah, I watched one play where an unblocked safety came just flying at him, and Burrow was just like, "Fuck it." Like he went to grab, like he brought the ball up to about here, saw him coming, and literally was just like, "Fine."
Just don't
Like,
fumble. Got it.
I don't understand how Cincinnati even lets that happen. Like he just was. There was nobody even touched him. Not like, oh, I missed it, I whiffed it. It was just like, we didn't account for that guy.
It was an Olay, like a Matador.
It was awful. Awful. I guess I heard another stat, like the average amount of yards per game for Mixon is like 40.
It's not good.
Why are, like, if you've ever had a more screaming red light that your offensive line sucks, like, come on. But they did get the win. You can see they are adjusting to that issue, like schematically. But
How?
the way some of the plays they're running, these short little drops, like he's got it all figured out.
Watch out. You're 1 step away from Matt Canada offense.
Yes.
Well, speaking of which, I forgot to say there was a Fire Canada chant at the Penn's game in the 3rd period.
As would be expected.
Yeah.
The Browns take full advantage when Christian McCaffrey and Deebo Samuel go out of the game, while Brock Purdy has his worst game as a starter and ruins his undefeated streak. The Browns win 19-17.
If there was ever a game you could blame a quarterback for, I know we're going to be like, well, he didn't have his weapons. He came out in that second half, whereas people got hurt, and it seemed like he just got all kinds of anxiety. Like Ayuk and him were perfect in that first half, and then that second half was like he lost track of it.
Well, I think once you lose your safety nets, kind of in Debo and McCaffrey, probably all of a sudden there's a lot more pressure. And that's the second time a Bills receiver has been quote unquote tripped without a flag. I mean, how many times do you do it before it becomes
Hey, stay focused.
on purpose? Sorry.
I'm pretty sure Kittle didn't have a good game.
Kittle had one catch for 1 yard.
Yes.
I mean, like,
He only had 2 targets, though.
I feel like Purdy just didn't have the right headspace in that second half.
He was definitely being pressured, which contributed, but he also missed some throws that he would typically at least give the receiver a chance. And these were throws that were, not even close.
Yeah. Also, I don't know why this wasn't talked about by the commentators. And I get it's Cleveland and they're a bunch of, jagaloons in that stadium. It sounded like the entire upper deck of the stadium had trash cans in the stadium beating the shit out of them. Like, maybe it's legal. Maybe they can have drums. Maybe
they're hitting the seats.
Yeah, they started that game started intense because that game started with a kerfuffle.
Yeah,
you could hear them over the audio. Like they were drumming the shit out of whatever it was.
Yeah. All of this, right? The 49ers, pretty much everything that could potentially go wrong did go wrong.
Yep.
And they still had a chance at the end of the game to win, but they missed a field goal. Their field goal was from previously perfect Jake Moody as their kicker.
Yeah.
So it took pretty much a non-perfect game and a non-great game from some of the players for them to lose to the Browns. And the Browns, to their credit, played well defensively with PJ Walker at quarterback, which also we're talking about quarterbacks that may not be committed to the cause. Deshaun Watson was cleared by the doctors, but did not clear himself to play.
But where are they? I don't understand that decision either. Like, who's going to take his rub and tug ass?
He didn't get the right doctors to clear him.
I bet.
Builds
up frustration in that, man.
The Dolphins go down 14-0 early to the Panthers, but just keep swimming for the rest of the game on their way to a 42-21 win. Tua tosses 3 touchdowns, and Raheem Mostert accounts for 3 total, with 2 on the ground and 1 in the air.
The Dolphins are the Dolphins.
They scored the points. Yeah. The Jags come back from England and enjoy the friendly confines in Duval on their way to a 37-20 win over the Anthony Richardson-less Colts. Trevor Lawrence tosses for 2 touchdowns, and Etienne ran for 2 more as the Minshew Maniacs had nothing to cheer for this week, brother, as he threw for 3 interceptions in a losing effort.
I will say that I just lost my track. Richardson looked angry that he was hurt. I don't think this man's going to learn his lesson at all. He was standing up on the sidelines, arm in a sling, pissed off, as if he wanted to be out there throwing himself into brick walls. That was the vibe he gave.
I mean, can you fault him? It doesn't mean he's not hurting himself by being angry that he's hurt. I would be annoyed if I was hurt and my team was looking like garbage and they couldn't do anything to help them. I think you can't be mad at that and then also mad at Tampa.
I didn't say I was mad. I just don't think he's going to learn. I think he's like, the minute he's cleared, he's going to be like, ooh, dump truck. Let me throw myself at it.
Very possible.
All right.
CTE, catchy energy.
There it is. CJ Stroud's interception-less streak comes to an end against the Saints, but the Texans still come away with a 20-13 win in Houston. Stroud threw for 2 touchdowns, and there's a viral video of Jameis Winston trying to make a point. I don't know what point that is, to Alvin Kamara on the sideline. Kamara was not having it, so Jameis better watch out.
You think Jameis was telling him where to get crab legs in Houston?
Yeah.
This is how you eat a W properly, man.
And real talk, what do we think the Texans are missing? I don't watch anything. I don't know anything. I tend to just shy away from that whole organization, but like, to hang in there with the Saints. Are they really a bad team all
They-
around?
Jim, they won.
Right, I get that, but like, what do we think are they missing to be contenders? Like,
Oh, I don't know. I mean, they have a good number of weapons.
They're I think a sound team in all areas.
Yeah.
I think some of what has not transpired as they expected is the run game. I don't think it's been as strong with Davian Pierce as they expected. So that would be my potential knock, but I think overall they're just a ho-hum team to me. Like a team that I would expect to have like 7, 8, 9 wins at the end of the year.
okay,
Yeah, just on the outside looking in, knowing nothing about Houston. I mean, they're inexperienced as hell. They're a young team, and two, they don't have a true like number one playmaker.
Right.
And when you look at some of the
Nico Collins is their best wide receiver, and he's been like a second or third at other stops.
That was going to be my
Right.
comment. Nico Collins is your number one receiver, which he's done fine. But if you had another go-to guy and he was your number two, you'd probably be better off. And if Dameon Pierce was there, but you had someone else. So you have guys that are serviceable enough to keep you average, but not good enough to put you to that next level.
Nate,
Thank
other
you.
thoughts?
No, I agree with everything there. They just don't have someone they don't have anybody that you would game plan for them not to beat you.
Gotcha. Jimmy Garoppolo, aka Dougie D, left the game against the Patriots with a reported back injury and was later seen getting into an ambulance. But Brian Hoyer and the Raiders hang on to beat the Patriots 21-17. Jimmy G did toss a touchdown to former Patriot Jacoby Myers before departing. And the Patriots lose another one. Mac Jones threw for 200 yards and 1 interception. What do the Patriots do now?
tank.
I don't think Bill Belichick has it in his body to tank, to be completely honest.
He's a genius. If tanking means he gets better options and personnel, he'll
He
tank.
is, but he's a competitor.
Nah, he's a chess player. If tanking is the best outcome, he'll tank.
I don't know if I believe it.
Yeah, I'm with Alex. I don't think any NFL team or player wants to tank, but I definitely don't see Bill Belichick going, hey guys, we're not going to try to win anymore.
I say packs it in. Mac Jones is not your guy.
That
No.
doesn't mean you have to tank to get somebody in the
You-
draft. They
you
could
know
look
what
at
I bet
Kirk Cousins after this year if they wanted to.
You know who I bet their guy is? Will Greer. And you know what? He's not even on the roster right now. So, or he wasn't dressed or whatever, active. You messed up.
On the practice squad, Alex. Well, that did they dress any backup quarterback?
No, him and Bailey Zappi. Bailey
That's right,
Zappi
Zappi's
was
there.
his emergency
Right.
quarterback.
All right. Kyron Williams reps for 158 yards on 20 carries and 1 touchdown, while the same old Cooper Kupp seems to be back as the Rams beat the Cardinals 26-9. Kupp had 148 yards on 7 catches with a tutty.
Okay.
That's tanking, Jim, is the Cardinals.
Or they just suck.
Rams are a completely different team when Cooper Kupp's healthy.
I agree. I think they're 3-3. The Cardinals beat the Cowboys. They cannot be tanking, right? Because the Cowboys are amazing.
Yeah, if you say so.
I'm not saying I agree what I just said, but the Jets get their first win ever against Philadelphia, forcing Jalen Hurts into 3 interceptions. And now there are no more undefeated teams in the National Football League.
And all the Dolphins fans are rejoicing.
Yeah, I literally stopped watching this game when the Eagles were winning. And it didn't until I read this part of the notes, didn't realize that the Jets had come back to win.
Yeah,
Also, I an email to Brees Hall because if he'd have gotten 11 more running yards, I would have hit a really nice parlay. So,
Oh, now when he tweets this out, Alex will be like, "I've been wrong twice." By
I've
NFL
been wrong
players.
thrice today.
I hope he
Nice.
actually mentions you and goes, Alex, I do not care about your 11 rushing yards.
I'll be like, oh my god, he listens to Sports Hojo.
Me too. Like, you want to be a guest? You in? You in? You ready?
Yeah.
Let's do this. All right, Nate, take away your team.
So the Bucs re-debuted the creamsicles today, and that's about the only thing they had going for them. As Baker Mayfield was just over 50% completions today, and that offense just continued to struggle against the MCDC-led Lions. I mean, it's the same old song and dance. They can stop the run against anybody. I think the Lions only had like 30 or 40 some rushing yards, but 300 some yards through the air. But that defense was just on the field too much. And this is why I had no trust in Baker Mayfield.
This is why.
And Baker
This is
Nate does
why.
not trust.
So I mean, they keep on like reintroducing, like maybe once a year, once every 2 or 3 years, right, Nate? The creamsicle jerseys. Why do they bring back a jersey that just reflects on how poorly they played during that time frame?
I don't know. I mean, at least it looks cool, I guess.
But note, if you're watching, you can see Nate's shirt.
Yeah, and the only other weird thing was I think they're only wearing it once this year. This was it.
Okay.
And I don't remember what year it was they reintroduced them the last time, but I only remember that Josh Freeman was the quarterback, so that tells you it's been at least probably 8 to 10 years.
All right. How are we looking for the Sunday night football game as we record, gents? What's the live looking?
Well, right now they're showing an injured Giants player walking the sidelines. So right now we've got no score, under 6 minutes in the first quarter, and the Giants are currently in the red zone.
And somehow 2 of the Bills receivers so far have been tripped, and there's no penalty because they just tangled up their legs. I think it's nefarious. Stay tuned.
Nefarious.
Nefarious. And what is our
Delicious.
Monday night prediction
Nefarious.
as the Cowboys take on the Chargers?
Ugh.
I think Jim should go first here.
That's what I was looking at. I was looking for the spread on this game. Anybody know?
I
As
do
my
not
FanDuel's
remember.
Down. The spread.
I want to
is-
say it was Dallas was favored by
I
a
was
couple.
gonna say I would put it probably Dallas -3.5.
it is actually Dallas -1.5.
Hmm.
I would take the Chargers to cover.
Like, you
get
take the
points.
Chargers money line.
I think I might.
The money line dog Chargers.
I might.
Jim, are the Chargers the money line dog?
Yes.
Because
Because they're getting the points.
bingo.
Yes.
You've done it. We've cured him, Alex. We've cured him.
Well,
For
don't go
today.
too far now. Don't go
For
too
today.
far.
For today. In other news in the NFL, and the will he stay or will he go debate, Kirk Cousins says he's not going anywhere and plans to play out the season in Minnesota, not looking to waive his no trade clause. If Kirk Cousins were to say he is on the market and the Minnesota was looking to deal him, where do we think would be the best team for him to wind up with this year?
I was gonna say New England before you mentioned it earlier.
Pittsburgh.
I think
There is actually some people that are saying Pittsburgh's not a bad option because he'll be there for 1 or 2 years and let Kenny Pickett develop and either figure it out, or then you're just looking for somebody after Kirk. There's actually is a school of thought there.
I don't disagree with that. I wouldn't hate it. I just could see him and Bill Belichick getting along.
Yeah, I feel like Kirk's trying to chase a ring though, and I don't see New England competing for one next year, even with him on the roster.
Yeah. Do you really think he would get along with Bill? Remember, Kirk Cousins takes Tuesdays off throughout the
Yeah,
season.
you're right.
Don't think that would sit well with Bill.
That's true. I kind of forgot about the Tuesday off thing. I was thinking just like
I think he might wind it down.
He might what?
I think he might hang it up.
no, I don't think he'll hang it
Kirk?
up till he gets a ring.
Or Bill?
Kirk.
Unless he absolutely has to, I don't see Kirk Cousins hanging it up till he has a Super Bowl.
Yeah. He can still get paid many millions of dollars.
Yeah,
In fact, he's one of the best at getting millions and millions of dollars for being mediocre.
we'll see.
Von Miller was not a fan of Tottenham Hotspur Stadium turf as he blasted the $1.3 billion stadium that coincidentally transitioned the playing surface from natural grass to an artificial surface prior to the NFL games coming to London.
Why did they do that?
Questioning why they even played on the field when the Bills played the Jags. Miller said on the Pat McAfee show, it just felt like it was hard and tight. It just felt stiff, like it didn't have any padding underneath. I've been playing in the league for 13 years, and that was one of the worst surfaces I've played on. End quote. Keeping in mind that the Bills did lose linebacker Matt Milano for the season after he sustained a leg injury in that game.
I don't understand why they transitioned away.
Yeah, I
from
don't either.
grass. That doesn't make a lot of sense. I mean, it is London, probably hard to maintain, but like soccer,
Yeah, if you're
everybody's
maintaining it,
doing
if
it.
it's already there, then you have been maintaining it anyway. So
Right.
why?
Yeah,
Doesn't make a lot of sense.
I was very perplexed by that as well. Unless there is some type of agreement between the NFL, the NFLPA, that they will not play on the grass.
But like just not to tear it up. I mean,
No, I'm just saying, like the NFL and the NFLPA say,
Switch that
no,
shit.
we don't want to play on this natural grass because
Don't
we're
see
used to
that.
these types of surfaces. Now, I think that's dumb if that's the case. I'm not saying it is, but for all of the right, you have players like, I mean, I understand this was never substantiated, but the rumors were that Messi was saying, I'm only going to play on a natural grass field, so don't let me play on these artificial spots. And these soccer stadiums appear to have some of the best maintained and manicured
Right.
turf in the world.
Yeah. Seems dumb. Seems dumb.
It does seem dumb. During Green Bay, defensive back Jair Alexander pulled no punches after the Packers lost last week prior to their bye to the Raiders, saying, and I quote, I think at this point it's pretty obvious that the defense has to not give up any touchdowns. Talk about calling out your young quarterback and your offense after a game.
Yeah, I don't know. You shouldn't probably hate on your teammates in national media, but
Yeah, that's not going to go over well in the locker room, I don't think.
yeah, I mean, in an already struggling-ish team, I mean,
yeah, I think he went on later to say maybe something along the lines of, I think we just have to score touchdowns.
I'm okay with it.
Okay with it?
Yep.
Okay. During Aaron Rodgers Tuesday with the Pat McAfee show last week, Rodgers challenged Travis
This is the
Kelce
fucking news, Mom.
and
Get this
Tony
shit out of here.
Fauci to debate him and RFK Jr. with Pat McAfee moderating.
that would be hilarious.
No, it
Jim-
would be insanely dumb.
Jim, you said you want to talk about
It would
this.
be purely entertaining. There would be nothing
No, it would not.
educational about this.
Can we please move on, Muff?
You said you wanted to talk about this.
I did not.
In the betting show,
I think
you
might
said
have.
we're going to talk about that in the next episode. You literally said that. This is the
I
second
was
time
trying
that
to
I
kick
can.
the can down the road.
Well, the can has arrived. You can't be Bill Belichick because after 10 years of Tom Brady, guess what? The can finally stopped.
My opinion is this is dumb, and that's probably where we should stop with that.
Where we should stop or where you should stop?
I should stop. What you need here? I don't have any here.
Alex, Nate, would you be interested in actually seeing this go down?
Oh, I would watch it. It would probably piss me off if I'm being completely
Yeah, thank you. Why would it piss you off?
because it would be uneducated opinions on things that there are more educated people in the world that could talk about it. And I mean, I guess not with Fauci, but I just think that they will say stuff that will piss off certain people, and one way or the other. I don't think anyone watches this and ends happy, but I could see it being entertaining as long as you watch it for the entertainment purpose and not
Nobody's gonna do that.
I know, and that's the problem. There's a chance here to make it funny, but I feel like people will take it too far, like they do most things, and ruin it.
Yes.
No, I have no interest in listening to Aaron Rodgers debate on anything but football.
I'd watch it for the entertainment value.
Watch it.
For the
'cause I
entertainment
couldn't miss
value.
it. Yes.
Yeah. I mean, they'd sell a whole lot of Mr. Pfizer jerseys. I can guarantee that.
But
All right, college football week 7.
hold on. Before we begin, college football. Alex,
Oh dear.
would you like to open us with a prayer? Perhaps a Hail Mary, if you will.
Fuck you. Can't.
Jim, go on. Let's talk about the Big Ten before you just destroy Alex.
I'm sorry, I'm not destroying him. But the best of the college football weekend was, yay! Then I'm about to puke. Those were the text messages.
Oh
Yeah,
no,
happy
it was
text.
much
Fuck
better
yeah,
than
fuck
that.
Yeah, what the fuck? I'm gonna throw up. Was
I'm gonna
exactly.
throw up.
There's the
And
E
I
rating,
said to
everybody.
myself, I am not going to respond to Alex.
I was glad you did it
Ohio
because
State
I
is in a trap
genuinely.
game. I will jinx myself. I'm not going to say a word, but I happen to have a supervisor who I had to have a meeting with the next day. And you best believe, I was like, how was your night? She was like, what do you mean? I was like, any religious thing happened to you last night?
I'm assuming this person's a WVU fan.
Yep.
Okay.
I was so glad you didn't because I was actually sad. Like it would have
I
been like
wasn't gonna mess with you.
It would have been like a kid's dog ran away, and then you were like, haha.
Yeah, I couldn't have done it. I couldn't have done it to you. So, but I will get that one rib in, and now I am done.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
College football. Go ahead, gents.
Do I have to? Michigan beat Indiana 52-7. Okay. All right. Let me set the groundwork for this. I'll get my head in the right spot. I had a debate with a Ohio State fan that said Michigan is the top team in the Big Ten and cited this game. Ohio State and Penn State are playing this week. Muff and I, we do not, for what we've been friends 10 plus years.
15.
You and I don't talk shit to each other this week. We haven't. We respect each other. Okay. So I'm going to cross over maybe some boundaries, but please, I'm not talking shit. Michigan was slow to start against Indiana. Indiana was winning 7-0 for a period of time.
Okay.
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 Penn State, I'm now going to jump Ohio State's performance. Penn State at no point was losing to UMass.
As should be the case.
Ever. We all agreed that Indiana should have been a bloodbath. So therefore, the same result should have happened.
Hold on. We are
feel like
wild.
You're
Wild.
the final score is 52-7.
I'm gonna let you finish, but
I understand.
I will not
But
ride
for
with
anybody to sit here and say that Michigan is the best team in the Big Ten
Is wrong.
pisses me off.
I think
Michigan is the best
better
team
than
UMass.
You're fucking wrong.
Indiana's a better team than UMass.
No.
Indiana would beat UMass 40-0.
I don't think so.
I think that you have been smoking some ayahuasca, and you apparently
put
should
the
belong
gems
in
in
that
your
debate
butt.
with Aaron Rodgers.
I don't
So,
think so. I think Penn State's the best team in the Big Ten.
well, of course,
I
you're
don't
gonna say
disagree with that.
because right now you're trying to get up. Penn State doesn't have a
I knew this
marquee
was going to
win.
happen.
Penn State doesn't have a marquee win. Like
Who does
Ohio State-
Michigan have?
Excuse me. Just give me a second. Ohio State beat Notre Dame. So if you're going to put
And?
anybody over Michigan, it's going to be Ohio State right now.
Louisville beat Notre Dame.
Okay. Notre Dame's still ranked. Penn State's ranked when
Because
against
of the
Iowa,
Notre
who's
Dame
not ranked
Jesus hype.
anymore.
That win to me is not that high. The
I don't
quality of a win goes to Penn State. Therefore, they are.
Well, I disagree with you. Penn State's not the best team in the Big Ten right now.
They're full of shit. Anyway, Ohio State squashed Purdue 41-7. I don't know how we say it squashed. They never were in all of. They never ran top notch all the time. They had 2 fumbles to Purdue. They weren't dominant.
Oh my God, the sky's still falling in.
No,
his
If
presence.
I'm
WVU beat a
being
team
factual.
41-7, I would say they
Jesus.
Watch
squashed.
out.
Watch out, 41-7. That's no longer a good
41-7 is
win.
a squashing.
Do you
Anything
see
over
how
30 is a
stupid this
squashing.
is? Michigan beats the shit out of Indiana, but was struggling. We're all like, they're the baddest team.
You are
Penn
the one
State-
that brought up the Ohio State issues.
If you lose by
But
30 points,
legitimately
you've
fumbled
been
twice.
Okay. Things happen in college football, Jim. Did Purdue score off of those turnovers?
No, they missed 3 field goals.
Okay.
Wait, but the 4th was made by a Purdue student in a car from 40 yards. Get the man a jersey.
All I'm saying is the top team of the 3 was Penn State, and it is Penn State.
I mean, they covered. I'll give you that.
I feel like
Michigan covered. I'll give you that. Ohio State did not cover. So
Did
Ohio
they
State's
not? Are you sure?
I don't know.
I
You
think it was
tell me.
30, maybe 33.
so. I have beef with the medical management I just watched. Can I do a breaking interjection for
Yes,
medical
go ahead.
management? So the Bills player gets rocked. His head goes sideways. He clearly has neck pain, and they're just like letting him walk around. Like I feel like he should be in a seat collar
They
until his
saved
neck
a
is in
man's
it.
life. Calm down.
I agree, but I don't know about that one. Like our rule is if you have neck pain, you're in a seat collar until we can 100% say that you're not injured, ligaments, neck, something. I don't know. All right, go on.
Rutgers won 27-24 against somebody. Didn't have the.
You're just gonna just totally gloss past the fact that they were
Who did they
down by
win? If you
8.
gave me more info in these
Michigan
games.
State.
Down by
Michigan
18.
Michigan State.
I'm
Okay.
glad that you keep up with college football in the Big Ten, Jim.
That was like the one
I'm
good
sorry,
game.
I didn't watch the
Really.
Rutgers game, asshat.
You have to watch
Illinois
every game.
gets their first Big Ten win of the year, beating Maryland. Maryland lost their second straight. Illinois wins 27-24. Good win out of Illinois. It was a good game. Maryland looked flat, looked like they were hungover from the Ohio State game. It's kind of disappointing that happened, but it was a good win by Illinois.
I want to go backwards a second.
Yep, go ahead.
Can we please just for a quick minute talk about your feud with Peacock and the Ohio State game since you
It's
weaved
not just
in and
my
out of
fucking
that.
feud, buddy.
Well, tell the world because this was a big deal.
Everybody
This was a big
pissed
deal.
off. And wait till you guys have your games on Peacock. You're gonna have the same bullshit.
I don't know. I watched the game on Peacock this week and it was fine.
What game did you watch?
I think I was watching part of the Ohio State game and didn't have a problem.
You only watched part of it then.
What was your problem with Peacock?
The stream paused all of the time.
Was it your connection?
No, because everybody had said the same thing across Twitter.
Hmm.
Okay. It's Twitter.
So it was true.
And the announcers were shit. They didn't know players' names on both sides. They did zero research.
It's
Okay.
like Thursday Night Fox.
One was Notre Dame bias, and I don't understand why, because Notre Dame wasn't even in the game.
It's Peacock, Jim. It's NBC Network.
He said the word "we" several times when talking about Notre Dame. Like,
Who was it?
Nobody knew their names. They were like
Oh.
third-rate announcers.
Okay.
They weren't even like popular people. It was just shit. And the fact that there's actually Ohio State legislature is trying to pass laws now.
Because that's a good use of their time right now.
Right. Well, it's a Columbus, bud. So that you have to have the local channels play the games.
I don't think the
I
local
honestly-
channels have enough money to put up against Peacock and
It's
NBC.
gonna be law, buddy.
I wish it would do that for every local team. Like in West Virginia, you get the West Virginia game on a local channel.
Yep.
Ohio, you get the Ohio State game.
Yep. But yeah. So Peacock is shit. Shit. I think it's ridiculous. I have to pay $5.99 to watch the game.
Oh, I throw the same damn fit about ESPN Plus and college basketball, having watched like so many WVU games on ESPN Plus. I think it's bullshit. I live in West Virginia. I should be allowed to watch West Virginia's. My taxes go to the university. I should be able to watch the freaking basketball game on TV.
Fair point. Fair point. Go ahead.
Fired up.
You take over the other teams.
Iowa won the battle of defense, taking down Wisconsin 15-6. I feel like in the betting show I predicted this would be like maybe a 17-10 game or a 7-10 game. I can't remember which one I said, but I was like, dangerously close.
You had
a
it
bust
in year one now.
Yeah, no, he hasn't played. He could be, but not yet. Wisconsin's not really a total bust. I mean, I don't think Iowa's a terrible team. I think they're a terrible offense.
What would it take for you to say that there's no consideration for Fickle in year one at Wisconsin to be a bust, Jim? How many wins does that take for you?
He's got to break over 500 for me. He's got to go to a bowl to not be a bust.
So unrelated is
They're 4-2.
not really unrelated, I guess, but does Iowa go like 11-1 and have to fire their offensive coordinator?
Yes, we've talked
You've
about this.
asked that before.
Yeah, you're.
And we've said, yeah, he's probably getting fired.
Yeah, nepotism, Alex. It's got to happen.
Gotta happen.
I know, that's just wild to me. I'm like, they're going to be in a Big Ten championship game, and then you get fired.
I would love to see. This is what I would love to see. And Muff, get ready to bring out the torches. You and I will argue. And I'll even throw in straight Ohio State bias. I'd like to see Ohio State run the table, go undefeated. Okay.
I'm sure you would. I would like
Okay,
to see Penn
thank
State
you.
go undefeated.
Thank you. I knew it was coming. Then I would like to see Ohio State or Penn State beat Michigan, Ohio State be the only loss, and then the powers that be in the Big Ten go, other side of the Big Ten, go fuck yourselves. Penn State, Ohio State, run it back for the title.
Yeah, they just can't do that though.
I would love that. I think America would love that.
I'm not saying it's not a good idea. I mean, that's the whole concept now behind getting rid of divisions, but I'm just saying that.
And then if Penn State beat Ohio State, you don't go. You don't go to any playoff. You get the Rose Bowl. Sorry.
I don't think you can do that because then you're going to have 2 1-loss. You're going to have a 1-loss Ohio State and a 1-loss Penn State at that point.
I don't care. That's what I said.
What have you done for me lately?
Yep. See you later.
Didn't work for Penn State last time. They won the Big Ten championship.
But I think, right, if the playoff committee goes, well, Penn State only beat them by a point, Ohio State can still go. No, we are the Big Ten. We've made the decision. Big Ten won the last one, or Penn State won the last one. They go. That makes sense.
Are you going to do that for every conference then? Just the conference champion goes?
Yeah, sure. Beautiful.
That would be interesting if it was just a tournament of conference champions.
Yeah, let's do it.
I wouldn't hate that.
Not the worst thing that could happen.
Because then you could have that Texas has a chance at running it back. Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Go ahead. On to that.
All right. So I'll just rip the Band-Aid off.
You're going to skip it, bud. I'll give you that.
WVU.
It hurt hard.
No. It has to happen. So on Thursday night, I watched the Mountaineer football game. There were 12 seconds left when Hudson Clement scores a miraculous touchdown. I mean, I lost my shit. Lost it. West Virginia boy scoring in Dana Holgerson's face. Dana Holgerson throws his headset. Sad Dana. Loved it. I mean, I loved it. I was so excited. Garrett Green gets a little excited as well, but he waves to the Houston fans and gets flagged for an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty. Not knocking it, not disagreeing. You gotta handle yourself. 15-yard penalty. So 12 seconds. So they get 2 plays off in 12 seconds. Understandable. All I can think is with 7 seconds left when they run their last play, if you're 15 yards further down the field, that ball just made it to the goal line. Even if they catch the Hail Mary, is it in the end zone? I don't know. You know, everyone's like, bat the ball down. He should have batted the ball down. I agree. But there was a problem before that, and it was the penalty. And that's where this loss lies. My chest hurt. I had physical chest pain. I really did think I was going to vomit. I thought I was going to cry at one point and vomit.
That'd have been awful.
And it just comes down to, I remember the beginning of the season hearing that WVU would be dead last in the Big 12.
No.
Oh my gosh, why are you doing this?
Why?
You can get to 16.
Okay, I'm going to close my eyes and ears. You let me know when it's over.
And here it is. The last play of the game.
He's it up to the end zone. Tip. And he caught it.
Oh my God.
Holy Toledo.
Holy Toledo, he says.
I mean, we were that close to being a 5-1 team with wins over Pitt, wins over Dana, our only loss coming to Penn State, who is an obvious powerhouse, and you're coming up from the fact that people thought you were going to be dead last in the Big 12. I'm not going to lie, having 4 wins already and it being October when you were supposed to be dead last in the Big 12 is not a bad place to be sitting.
No, not even a little bit.
5-1.
Now, Alex, I want your thought on this, right? Heartbreaking, terrible. I would have been saying multiple bad words and terrible phrases just like you were.
I probably would have broke a TV.
Yeah, right. So a lot of anger is understandable and emotion is understandable. There are some people, when I say people at this point, I think there are multiple major outlets, like sports outlets and commentators that are chatting about why is Hudson Clement not in the game as part of the last line of defense as somebody who can jump up and bat the ball down. And is that is that something that you as a WVU fan are upset about, or is it just it is what it is now?
No, I'm not upset about it. I mean, if they'd have done it, I wouldn't have been upset that they did it, and I'm not upset that they didn't, I guess.
Okay.
Like if you know, there's probably other defensive guys that are built and play somewhat like Clement. I think that I don't know. I was laughing. I was talking to my stepmom today, and she's like, Alex, because your dad was so, I mean, just beside himself. And God bless him. My dad is a Mountaineer fan through it. Like I got it honestly. Like the man literally loses sleep over West Virginia, like recruiting news. Like he loves it. And my stepmom said he was sitting in the chair and he was so excited. He just got a brand new big screen TV this week and he's watching this game. And she says he scored and the man is losing his mind on the touchdown, right? She says he just takes the remote and just like throws it behind his back, like gently, not enough to break it, not enough to break anything. Like the neighbors were there. And he gets up and she's like, he had to go upstairs by himself. And I tried to follow him, like, it's okay, Scott. And he just puts his hand out and he just stops her. He's like, no. And he's like, he goes upstairs and just disappears for like 5 minutes. And we're all sitting downstairs like, oh my God, he's not going to make it. And he just comes back downstairs and she tried to say something else. And he was like, and then she's like, he sat there for like another minute. And then he's like, okay, I'm all right. It's like, it is what it is. And he's like, his emotion. He's like, he literally had to walk away. It's like, I get it, man. I get it.
Ugh.
I really thought that story was going to be he threw the remote to the new TV.
No, I will give him that more credit. He has more control than that, but
Oh, I would have broke something.
But do you?
He just went. I think that's why he had to go upstairs.
So he didn't break the new TV?
Kind of kids that would be like, Dad, oh my gosh, like Dad. And I think he just needed it.
Ooh, all right. You good?
I'm good.
Okay.
I'm glad I got that. Thanks for giving me that platform.
Yep. Number 8, Washington beats number 7, Oregon, 36-33.
Washington, they're the team now.
Yeah, I'd say, especially after number 10 USC and Caleb Williams lose to Notre Dame 48-20. USC looked like doggy poop.
Yeah.
You're not going to give Notre Dame any credit? Like, doesn't that help Ohio State's ultimate cause if things don't go perfectly?
Notre Dame lost to Louisville, man.
And
Louisville just lost to Pitt.
Notre Dame needed that game to save their season.
Yeah. I will say, backing up one game for the Washington-Oregon, Washington definitely came out on top, but that's probably going to be a rematch, and I don't think Oregon lost any ground in. Like, I don't fault Oregon for losing that game. That was a good game.
It was a very good game. I enjoyed it.
So.
And Oregon didn't fall out of the top 10.
Yeah, no, not at all over that. So.
And then Bama, number 11, holds on for a win against Arkansas, 24-21.
Bama's just skating through.
It's one of those, like, they're figuring out as the season goes along. And the more that they continue winning, I think the more momentum they have, which is probably not good for other SEC teams. But for now, they just just enough.
Number 12, North Carolina puts a knife in the U's back, thanks to Tez Walker's ultimate return to the college game. Tar Heels win 41-31. Walker was reinstated a little over a day to NCAA eligibility last week after he was ruled ineligible for multiple transfers over the last year. I thought this was a great game. I loved watching it.
Yeah, this is good. The Tez Walker story is interesting. Mac Brown had been advocating for him, and Tez Walker even said, I'll be on the practice squad this year just to be involved. He was reinstated, I think it was last Thursday or Friday, prior to last Saturday's game, so didn't have a lot of lead into that. So this is really his big return, as he had a big game.
Mm-hmm. Georgia holds on and beats Vandy 37-21. Where do we go with Georgia? Like, are they on the Bama level?
No, I know that Brock Bowers got hurt in that game.
Yeah, that's a big blow for them if he continues to miss time.
Florida State Spears Syracuse 41-3. I thought it'd be closer than this. Like, I didn't think it'd be a giant blowout.
Syracuse that had their, I think, sowed their oats early, and now things are just falling for them.
Number 14 gets attacked by number 14. Louisville gets attacked by Pitt, losing 38-21. The wheels fell off for Louisville, and Pitt stayed in it and was scrappy.
This is Pitt's second string quarterback because their starter is now a tight end.
Very impressed with this win from Pitt. I'm going to skip this one. We'll go to FIU introduces their Miami Vice and Pitbull Mr. 305 uniforms and field designed against. I don't know what you're trying to do there, Muff. The cool uniforms.
Oh, you blame it on somebody else. Okay.
It wasn't me. Cool field win 27-14. What do we think about this game and the uniforms and whatnot?
How much money did FIU spend on Miami last night?
I don't know, but they had the Lambo and behind the end zone, I think.
Yeah, I just feel like FIU, like of all schools, it's like, how much money do they have just to have a fun Miami last night?
Pitbull.
Yeah,
this could be a generous gift from Pitbull to the
NIL
program.
deal with Pitbull.
Yeah,
I mean, pretty.
Yeah, the field was pretty cool, and apparently they have multiple different field designs that they have throughout the year, which is pretty cool that they continue to mess with that. The uniforms were what I expected, right? Because we'd already seen them pre-released.
Yeah.
But Rocky and Rowdy Beers, Nate, you brought this to the attention.
Yeah, and after I did, I just remembered too. I think you're not allowed to cash in on name, image, and likeness for alcohol or anything, because technically most of these players are under age 21. But if they're not, you need to jump at that opportunity, whatever local beer distributing company.
And then lastly, Stanford comes back hella points and beats the Buffaloes 46-43 in double overtime. Coach Prime, he was not happy.
Well, that's what happens when you. Yeah, right.
Go ahead.
Go ahead, Alex. No, let your light shine.
No, I just mean you talk a lot of shit and you talk a lot of big game, and you have to be willing to take these on the nose. I mean, if you're going to make a scene.
Wait, I'm curious. When is
I'm
he
not
talk
saying.
When is he talking shit?
What scene?
He literally constantly is like, "We're taking receipts. It's personal. Blah 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 blah. We're the best."
What has he said about Stanford?
Nothing. It's not just about Stanford. It's about the entire show of things. If you want to go take a 1-11 team and end the season with 4 wins, you've improved. By all means, I won't take that from you. The program has improved. But when you make a show out of it and then you're losing these kind of games, like if I'm a Colorado fan, I'm pissed. I'm telling them, go in the locker room, quit worrying about the show, quit worrying about what superstars we're going to have there next week, and get your team in check and beat Stanford, who's a garbage freaking team. You want to be a good team? I care more about you being a good team than who's performing in the freaking tailgate next week. Get your shit together. Get your priorities in line.
Yeah, but you were wrong that he didn't talk shit. Everything else, I'll go with you. Like, stop the showboating. Stop making yourself a spectacle. But he's never talked shit on the opposing team.
This time, he has in the past, but for the most part,
what team did he talk shit on?
They talk shit on, who? Colorado State.
Yes.
After they talk shit on him for wearing his hat and his sunglasses.
Yeah, but he still talks shit.
But like that was defending.
Is it okay if you're retaliating at this point?
If you're defending yourself, I don't think that's talking shit.
Okay, I think they said something about TCU. They ultimately won that game.
He was keeping
receipts. Whatever. Don't call it talking shit. But don't do the showboating. Don't do the big spectacle unless you can back it up on a football field. And at this point in time, you aren't backing it up on the football field for the amount of spectacle you're putting.
Well, to me, this is the only game that Colorado's lost that I expected them to win. Yeah. I think the other games they lost, were.
But they lost bad in some of them. I mean, Oregon.
Right, I'm saying, but I expected them to lose that game. You see what I'm saying? Like,
lose, but the way they talked,
I don't care. I don't really care because that was without Travis Hunter. who's just a huge piece of that team, all said and done. I'm not saying that they win that game, but I'm saying it's probably like 21-ish points ish.
I think that we're missing two bigger talking points, and that's one, where's the line between confidence and cockiness, which has always been the Dion issue.
No, he's cocky. He doesn't have anything right now to be confident about. I mean, if he was undefeated or he had played undefeated except for a loss to Oregon by 2 touchdowns even, then you can be cocky because you can back it up. Right now, you're still being cocky and you don't really have it to back it up right
Is
now.
he being cocky because he's putting on a show? Or
Yeah,
the
but
university's putting on a show?
That's still, to me, that's being cocky.
It's and I understand where you're getting at with this, but all said and done for me, what is happening in that program right now is what's building the foundation for the future in helping the
Right.
recruiting situation. So I understand that you can be upset about it now, but if this continues in 2 to 3 years, he's going to be
Right.
able to back it up because of what's happening right now. And I understand it's kind of annoying and everything, but there are millions and millions and millions of dollars flooding into Boulder, Colorado, and into that program right now because of what's happening.
And the transfer portal, and I'm picking WVU not despite you, but like as an example to show you, if I am transferring from Penn State, Ohio State, do I want to go to WVU or do I want to go to Colorado? Like if those are the two schools, where do I want to go?
I would want to go to the team that's going to win, though, too. I mean, yeah, you can get the show, but my thing is, the kids you're going to get.
But they're going to have similar records at the end of the year, and they're both going to be in the Big 12.
Does Colorado still play Oregon? Or I'm sorry, Washington? Or Oregon
Not
State?
next year, they'll both be in the Big 12, right?
Next year.
So if I'm transferring this year, but I'm saying at the end of the year, next year, where do I want to go? In the Big 12, do I want to go to WVU or do I want to go to Colorado? I'm going to go to the place that, one, probably is going to get more NFL scouts. Two, the NIL money's probably flowing in there. And three, it looks like a good time. Right?
I mean, I see what your point. I see what you're saying. It's more attractive to a college kid to have the party around.
So his show, while is annoying to us, the old men on the porch, to the young kid is attractive.
I don't know. I think it's only attractive if you're winning.
Guess what? If I can get $1 million in NIL, it's attractive.
Yeah.
Yeah, but if you get $1 million and you're losing and you're not playing up to your potential versus getting recruited for further.
But you don't think Dion's going to be able to get them recruited?
WVU's not winning either, bud. There's no championships at either one of those schools right now. My other point that I want to make, and this is, I'll get to steer away from the WVU point. Muff, you said Travis Hunter is a big linchpin to that.
Mm-hmm.
The NIL situation is Dion have to rely on some of these home run gold mines or diamonds that he mines in order to be successful? Because that's what it looks like to me, leaning towards Alex, is he has to go dig himself a diamond for his program to win.
No, he had to do that at Jackson State. He does. Well, Travis Hunter was the #1 recruit in the nation, and he got him to go to Jackson State.
That he dug up, like he had to go.
He didn't dig him up.
He worked to get him.
Right, he had to work to get him to Jackson State, so he's obviously able to do that. Now he has more clout behind what he can offer at a major Power 5 program.
Okay.
It only helps, in my mind.
Okay. He's got to do it again, in my opinion.
Do what again?
He's got to get himself another one of those when Travis Hunter leaves.
I mean, he just has to recruit normally now.
I don't know that I agree with that.
He's playing on a different playing field now.
I've had this argument with other people. He still has to recruit against the bigger schools.
Well, he recruited against them at Jackson State and won. And I understand there's a different differentiator at Jackson State that he was using, but now he has even more power behind what he can do than he did at Jackson State. I'm just saying
power has a ceiling.
Fair. All power has a ceiling, but
that ceiling is Texas, Bama, Ohio State, USC. You're gonna fall.
Penn State. Okay, got it. Good.
Penn
You're
State.
talking about top 10 recruiting teams.
I mean, I could have, Muff. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to slight you. But my point here is like you got 10, 12 people in front of you, Dion. You're going to have to do your Dion thing to be attractive.
I don't think that's a problem for him. I'm saying he does that naturally. That's what I'm saying.
I don't think it's going to be as successful up here in the big leagues.
Okay.
Go ahead, Muff. I've lost track of where we're at.
College games to note next weekend. We have 13 Ole Miss at Auburn, 8 Texas at Houston. Alex, who are you cheering for?
Auburn.
Texas at Houston.
I'm sorry, Texas.
Horns up.
Horns up.
Okay.
Just because I'm pissed off.
14 Utah at 18 USC. Ugh, is Cam Rising ever going to play? 16 Duke at 4 Florida State. 17 Tennessee at 11 Bama. And in the big matchup at noon, because that's when big matchup happened in the Big Ten, 7 Penn State traveling to Columbus to take on number 3 Ohio State.
That'll be a game. There's a couple. I mean, some of these will be good games. I think Bama Tennessee is going to be a great game. Duke Florida State's a great game. I think Utah USC is overrated matchup with. I don't think really care about Utah too much.
No.
I think. Yeah, and I think the last two I don't think they'll be great games, but the first 3 on that list, I'm excited about.
All right, another college football news with the most Vanderbilt stat ever that could be in a stadium that's still under construction. And if you watch any of the game this past weekend, hilarious to see the construction vehicle still around the stadium. You can see the dirt and everything. But in this Vanderbilt stat, their punter, Matthew Hayball, becomes the only player in NCAA football history to pass 11,000 punt yards.
I think Hayball is a fun name for a punter. Hayball.
Hayball. Get going, ball. Hey, ball. Get going.
That's definitely not one team stat I would want to be in the records of, but congratulations to the punter, I guess.
Congratulations, Hayball.
I guess it means he's okay. I mean, I guess you can get that by volume, but you have to hit him pretty good consistently.
Yeah, we need to do our research to see what's his average. Like, how many times is he punting a game? What's his average punt?
Yeah, like is his punt average longer than other punters, or is it actually he's terrible? He just does it a lot.
Or is it just that he's punting 10 to 12 times a game?
I definitely think there's a volume situation here.
Yeah.
Definitely part of it. Real quick here, let's see. In this season, he's averaging 49.1 yards per punt with a long of 71. In 2022, he averaged 45.4. In 2021, 45.7. This is his 5th year. So he's averaging 49 yards a punt this year.
Okay, but it's his 5th year, though, so it has an asterisk in my book.
Well, yeah, with the punting stat, I agree. All right. In other interesting news in sports.
Interesting news in sports.
First, we're going to let Jim talk about USADA and UFC.
I'm going to try to be brief about it. Essentially, USADA is the drug testing firm that UFC was using. A lot of other sports groups use USADA. But they announced that the UFC's deal with them will end January 1. They did a big old announcement where essentially they point the fingers at UFC for ending it based on Conor McGregor. Conor McGregor broke his leg in July, re-entered the drug testing pool on Sunday. And then Monday, UFC announced, hey, we're ending this deal, or told USADA they're ending this deal. Essentially, what it comes down to is behind the scenes, USADA is insinuating that they said McGregor's got to be in the drug testing pool for 6 months, and that made the UFC angry. They were trying to get him in there faster, get him fighting faster. And USADA came out and said, look, that's what they're mad about, and we're going to stand firm by it. And when they came out publicly and said that, UFC said, no, that's never happened. That's not true. And we'll sue you for saying that for defamation. We want him to be healthy. We'll test him 37 times. We'll make sure he waits 6 months. But USADA's insinuating that's not true. UFC never really clearly came out and said why they're ending that relationship. But essentially, they believe their new drug testing situation and firm will be better for the athlete.
For the athlete's pocketbook?
Yeah, probably. So essentially there's this big old drug battle. And Dana White plays his part in this. He acts like, well, I'm so glad that I'm out of this. I have lawyers dealing with this and other experts dealing with this. But in July, he was quoted as saying, who cares what USADA says? So he's played his role. Essentially, they've been looking since day one to figure out a way to circumnavigate. I mean, they even have a policy that says exceptions can be made if it helps the athlete. So, and I've seen lots of other commentary where it's like, since they've joined with WWF, this is now entertainment. So essentially it could be looked at as not a sport. Which would then...
Yeah, if they don't drug test, so I think I would take it a lot less seriously.
And I think that's what's going to happen. And you're going to see guys come out the woodwork.
Well, they're going to get hurt too.
Vito Belfort at the age of 54 is going to come out looking like the Hulk out of retirement. Conor McGregor going to come out from his leg injury looking like the Hulk.
Yeah, it won't be the same.
It's not going to be the same. You're going to see a lot more guys on test.
Yeah, people are going to start dropping dead.
Yeah.
Also a possibility.
Yeah, so it's an interesting situation. Something to keep your eye on. It's funny that Conor McGregor yet again is the reason why we're talking about UFC negatively. Cash dollars.
Cash money all the way. In the running world, Kelvin Kiptum breaks the marathon world record, finishing the 26.2 mile race in Chicago, 2 hours, 35 seconds. That is a 4-minute, 36 mile pace over 26.2 miles.
I just want to be real clear. Like, that's a 4-minute, 36 second mile pace. We need to put some emphasis on pace. That's 26.2 miles on average, 4.36 minutes a mile. Right?
4 minutes and 36 seconds. Yeah, not 4.36.
A mile.
Yeah.
He kept that up.
Yeah. That's sprinting to everyone else in the world, pretty much. Aside from world-class sprinters.
If I would still be running, if I could maintain my sprinting pace without tiring, I still don't think I would run 4:36 mile.
In my best shape, as I've gotten older, my best shape, I was doing 8-minute.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm like
36 seconds at my best. Now I 20 minutes.
Yeah, breaking 10 minutes is exciting for me on a mile.
And I don't think I keep that up.
Right.
I was running 5Ks at that average.
Nuts. This is nuts. This is absolutely crazy. It's crazy talk here.
And at the end of that 5K, running it at maybe 9 minutes a mile, I wanted to die.
Built different, everybody, just like hockey players. Built different.
God bless them.
What do you do afterwards?
What does this guy do afterwards?
You know what? I'm going to put that question for the boys. Keep going.
Okay. In college basketball, Caitlin Clark and the Iowa women's basketball team played an exhibition against DePaul in the crossover at Kinnick, bringing in 50,000 fans, nearly doubling the all-time women's basketball attendance record, which was previously around 29,000 people.
An exhibition game against DePaul. That's awesome.
In the football stadium.
That's awesome.
Yeah. This is pretty cool. This is a good story. I'm glad this
How does it
happened.
build traction? I mean, I hope we get the next Caitlin Clark after Caitlin Clark. You know what I mean? Like, I hope that this shows that we can really invest in these women athletes and see them for the impressive athletic specimens that they are.
Yeah. This will be, I mean, right, we had Nebraska volleyball did their thing.
Yeah.
Now we've got this going on. So these are good positive moments for women's sports.
More sports is always a good thing.
Indeed. Former University of Miami star and NIL powerhouse Haley Cavender announces she's coming out of retirement, entering the transfer portal, intending to play during the 24-25 season. How much money do we think she can get having almost an entire year, not entire year to get this done? I'm sure she has like 3 to 6 months to play the NIL game.
I don't know.
Right, this is just odd that her and her sister both.
Yeah,
they were done playing. They were done playing basketball. Then Haley comes out and says, "Ah, I'm coming out of retirement and I'm going to play not this year but next year."
If
Weird.
NIL
Everything about this
there,
seems weird.
if the NIL money's there, and I have time to get back in
Yeah,
shape.
that's the thing. If the NIL money's there.
Yeah, and to get back in shape because she's probably lost the step being off. I don't know if you should be
It's really
allowed
weird.
to.
Yeah.
Should you be allowed to do that in college? Just be like,
I mean, if you still have eligibility,
yeah,
she's
I
going to
guess.
have to obviously go into some type of academic program, like a
Like
grad
Drew
program or
Aller
something.
just decides to take next year off and keep training and working to get better, and then come back in a year and negotiate. Be like, well, this school can give me this much. This school can give me this much. Like I know they do that, but to actually say I'm going to take a break from what I'm doing, I don't know.
I mean, after that, if you have to just state that intent, and then your scholarship's gone, right? So
Yeah. So now you're getting NIL, but you're probably not getting scholarship. Yeah. I don't know. Interesting.
no, at Miami, like she's looking to go somewhere else. Apparently,
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying. Like your scholarship at
yeah.
Miami's gone because you've stated you're not playing.
Yeah. So is one of these other teams giving you a scholarship and then NIL on top of that again?
Yeah, if you're going, then they can choose not
Yeah.
to give you any academic scholarship or otherwise. That's their
Yeah.
prerogative. All right, the Kansas Jayhawks men's basketball program and coach Bill Self won't face any additional serious punishment stemming from an FBI 27 investigation into the program and college basketball itself. It was talking about apparel company Adidas. Adidas was the issue at hand, as they were considered boosters when 2 of them arranged payments to prospective recruits. So that was the ultimate issue at hand. A independent panel ruled last Wednesday that the Jayhawks will be placed on 3 years probation and will have to vacate all wins from the 2018 season, which led to a Final Four appearance.
Does that mean WVU beat Kansas twice that season?
I don't think WVU gets a win. I just think Kansas doesn't get the win, Alex. I mean, it's good.
Yeah,
it's good thought.
I saw a thing, Alex, that said, "Oh, well, just get WVU the Big 12 title for that year."
Yeah.
Yeah.
You wish.
I don't want it. It would have an asterisk. I don't want it that way.
Okay.
But probably because now they're like with all the NIL stuff, why continue to beat a dead horse? Like,
well, at least basketball in this particular situation is getting it more right than some other issues that have come up. So I don't know. Nate, how's baseball going?
I'm not watching it, but let me check the score real quick. Jim, your favorite team is in the middle of it right now, and they are down 2-0 in the 5th.
Go Rangers. So in the ALCS, we have the Rangers versus the Cheating Bastards, and then that is the game that Nate just updated on. And then in the NLCS, we have the Diamondbacks versus the Phillies. Game 1 is going to be, as you're listening to this tonight, so Monday.
Good. So nobody, I don't care about baseball.
I might watch whenever the World Series comes up, but
all right. How about in hockey, Nate? How's things going?
So in the hockey world, we're about a weekend almost now, and Austin Matthews of the Toronto Maple Leafs has scored hat tricks in back-to-back games to start the season. So let's see if they peak too early, because the Toronto Maple Leafs have notoriously not made the Stanley Cup Finals in how many years? So, Jim, you think the sky's falling to Columbus? You want to see the sky falling to Toronto when they don't make the finals.
Yeah.
So, on top of that, our teams so far, the Pens are 2-1-0 with a shutout victory at Washington, a home opener loss against Chicago, and a game that Sam and I went to the other night against Calgary where they won 5-2.
Mm-hmm.
Jim's Kraken is yet to see a win. They are 0-2-1, having to face all three of their opening games out on the road, losing in regulation to Vegas and Nashville, and most recently a shootout loss at St. Louis.
Is this just because they're not in the crack house yet, Jim?
Tons of time.
I mean, I agree. There is still a lot of time in the season, but are you getting concerned about how long you're going to be able to wear your apparel?
No.
So you're a fan through and through.
I'm a fan.
They start
I'm
0-10.
We're
We're not
good.
jumping teams this year.
Nope. We are
Okay.
good.
All right. Go check it.
We are good.
Just checking. I
Solid.
think that's the end of the interesting news in
Just
sport.
checking.
I hear you.
All right, Jim, you're up.
All right. What are you laughing at, Muff?
Quit looking at TikToks.
I'm not looking at TikToks, you jerk.
Seems like he was based on that answer. A little defensive.
So, 2 questions for the boys. One for Alex. The rest of you can chime in on. And then one for the boys. Alex, I spoke with some West Virginia people.
Okay.
The hate for Dana versus the hate for Rich Rod. Is that geographical? Are the Wheeling area people more mad at Dana while other areas of the state hate Rich Rod? Is this a geographical thing?
No, I don't think so. I think that you probably honestly down in like Morgantown have a younger population of people on campus and stuff. So they're probably hating like Dana Holgerson a little more because it's more recency bias.
Mm-hmm.
I think people like my dad's age, I think are more on the camp with Rich Rod's worse because of, the way that he left. I was in like middle school. So I think that it's more based on your era of life than it is
Gotcha.
Location.
Gotcha.
I think there's just as good a chance that people hate Dana Holgerson down south as there is up here.
Gotcha.
There's a camp that still says even though Rich Rod screwed us over, at least he was a better coach than Dana Holgerson was in my opinion, at least overall, and he had more of that like gritty drive, and I think that people like that, so they're like they would rather have him back than Dana. I think Dana technically had more wins. I don't know.
Rich Rod was
average.
part of the reason WVU got put on the map.
Yes,
as far as a football program,
yeah,
like he kind of built that.
Outside of the Don Nealon,
right.
Yes, but so yeah, I think it's a different. I think it's more generationally based than locationally.
Okay, and last, you've run a marathon. What do you do after? Nate.
Pass out.
Okay.
That's if I run a marathon. Nate would never run. But in this hypothetical situation, Nate would pass the hell out.
Completely unfathomable because there's literally a 0% chance that Nate ever runs a marathon.
Right.
Like how he went to the third person.
This person you're speaking of would never do this. This is just from like my conversation with people that I know that have run marathons, because I do know people that do this. They typically like just go drink.
That's probably what I would do as well.
Like I feel like the pain is coming. I'm gonna find out ways to dull that pain in as many ways as possible before it happens.
Yeah. Alex?
I'm probably gonna eat like a Snickers or something.
I don't know that I would cross the finish line. So I can't say that I would ever finish.
Well, okay, I understand. You said if we ever ran a marathon, it didn't say that we finished. Or this was the question when we finished a marathon.
I just don't know that I would. I'm really concerned. Like, I think I would just drop.
Yeah, I think I would eat like something that made whatever felt good. Like I feel like I would need some energy, and then I would take like an 8-hour nap.
Yeah.
There's
questions
a
for the
major
boys.
injury happening in this game.
Yeah, it's a little unclear. I mean,
Yeah.
it didn't look anything too serious on initial contact, but he's still down. The infant's on the field.
Yeah, I don't know if it's like a head neck injury or
Did they pass out?
that they ran a marathon.
They run a marathon?
What?
No, I think it's some kind of spinal injury because the way that they're lined up to move him looks like they're trying to maintain spinal precaution, not like backboard C collar thing.
Okay.
Dang.
It was
Well-
Harris running back for
Damian Harris.
Buffalo, yeah.
All right, everybody, let's hope Damon Harris is okay. And then we find out in the week to come that things are good for Damon Harris and everybody in this game. As always, remember to follow us on our social media at Sports Jim Muff on Instagram and Twitter, sports.w/Jim, & Muff on Facebook, on YouTube. Subscribe, comment, rate, review, poke like.
Go get the bell on.
Ding ding.
Do all the things, and be sure to catch this week's edition of the betting episode that are coming out on Thursday. And to do all these things, you have to tell a friend, make a friend, be a friend. Fuck Ohio State.